You're gay. No beef. You are a gay man. There's nothing wrong with that. I really don't care if you're gay. You live your life the way you want to live it. This is a video that is actually from just over a month ago, around the end of November. My girlfriend is trans, but I'm not gay. Love don't judge, says the video. And it's starting to make the rounds in the commentary. I did see this video, and I wanted to comment on it because I want to make it really, really simple for you, dude. Here's this guy. His name is Jesse. He's dating, I think the guy's name is Jesse. He's dating this trans woman. I got no beef. I wish them the best. I don't know anything about him other than this, but you are a homosexual man. And the only reason I think that we see this kind of narrative is because these gay men are ashamed of being gay. And I mean that sincerely. I am not being cute. Homosexual is defined as a person who is attracted to another person of the same sex. Doesn't say gender. You can try and redefine things. But just because the man, the biological male, because I know this guy doesn't want to use the woman, man. Well, let's say just because the biological male that you are dating as a male looks feminine does not make you straight. And what you got to understand is we had this conversation on Timcast IRL. I was like, the implication there is that if a ripped dude dates a masculine, muscular woman who's like a power lifter, but she likes dudes, he's gay. Okay, that does not make sense. Right, let me play this clip for you. Just a little bit of this this video. And what does it have? It's got 271,000 views. Everybody's saying he's gay. Let me play a little bit of it and show you exactly what they're saying.
Jesse, he fell in love with Cassidy.
I'm a proud trans woman.
Jesse was raised in a strict conservative family.
One thing I was definitely taught was a natural woman is who you're supposed to be with, and if you're with anybody else, you're going to be out of this household and out of this family.
And their relationship has caused a stir with loved ones.
The main misconception that people have is that he's gay.
I was very apprehensive.
Right.
I didn't know that he was open to having a relationship with a trans girl.
Love don't judge. He is gay. And there's another clip that I think I have here. So Joey Manarino says alpha males do not date trans men. I think you mean males. Trans-identifying male is what a trans woman is, right? But there is a portion where the guy's like, yeah, here we go. Let me play this clip for you right here.
I was just very much confused.
I was confused too. Cassidy educated me and said, no, honey, you're straight. Don't you look at me like a woman? I said, yeah. She's like, so where do you find the word gay? And that's when I realized, yeah, I'm not gay at all. I'm an alpha male that's attracted to femininity, and that's exactly what I got right here.
Okay, I don't get this. I mean, I kind of get it. This guy is ashamed of being gay. And he's not the only one. There are a lot of guys, I guess, who are attracted to males. They are males attracted to males. Look, I got to be completely honest with you. I don't know about you, and I don't care what you're into. I'm very libertarian in this regard. Jesse, Cassidy, I wish you the best. Thank you very much. Live your lives. Be happy. I got no beef. But I think it's fair to say you're ashamed of being gay because there ain't nothing wrong with you just saying like you're a dude who's with a male. You're a male. It's a male-male relationship. It's two males. Okay? That is a homosexual. Homo meaning same, sexual, same-sex relationship. I don't see anything wrong. I'm not some diehard Christian conservative. I don't see, I understand the Christian arguments for like the marriage and all that stuff, but I'm like, dude, as long as you're keeping it away from kids, like you're not going to kids and indoctrinating them on this stuff, and you keep sex ed, for the appropriate ages, you go into privacy of your own home, you do what you want to do. But it is very obvious these people are ashamed of being gay. And that's what like, nah, I'm not gay. I'm like, okay, check this out. Use Google search homosexual right here. Sexually or romantically attracted to people of one's own sex. That defines these people. And then he says, I'm an alpha male that's attracted to femininity. My friend, Google search what a twink is, okay? This is really funny because like all the LGBT people are like, oh, Tim's defining twink now for everybody. You betcha. Among gay men, a gay or bisexual young man with a slim build and youthful appearance. And then you have, I had to Urban Dictionary this one because bear, obviously you're going to get like a large, aggressive predator mammal. But the slang term is, it describes a husky, large man with a lot of body hair. Basically, and this is from 2003. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on this, but my general understanding is that the guy who is ripped and muscular with the facial hair is a bear, and the trans woman would just be a twink. Now, no, I get it. I get it. Trans woman is different from twink. My point is, if he says that he's just attracted to femininity, but there's tops and there's bottoms, you know what I mean? There's give and there's take. Like, this is the point. You are two dudes. There is absolutely nothing wrong with it. I think the issue comes from two things. One, this guy's like, no, I'm not gay. Like, no, what are you talking about? She educated me. I'm not gay. Just say, sure. Call me whatever you want, I guess. You know, if you're in love and you're living your life, live your life. It's fine. Male on male, homosexual. I think the other issue is the political. And the goal here is for these individuals, they want to create this narrative that biological males can be legally women. Why? That's the important thing. There was a trans woman who posted a picture of a birth certificate saying, haha, bigots, I'm now female since birth. And it's a legal, not factual statement. A legal distinction versus a factual distinction. If we're talking about medicine, science, etc., there is a distinction between male and female. You are not female since birth. You just put female on your birth certificate. Okay, that's a legal distinction. And that's what they're trying to create. Why? Something that I talked about a few years ago. The purpose of changing the definition of woman. What is it? You can change the law without a vote. These people that say are all about democracy, they don't even give you that much. So right now, if you look at a lot of laws, it'll say men or woman, male or female, but often men or woman, man or woman. In fact, they're even trying to change the definition of female because this will change the law. So in the law, let's say it says something like you cannot discriminate against a person based on being male or female, on their sex, or gender, because gender was used to describe biological sex. They changed the definition of the word gender, and what do you get? Supreme Court rules gender identity is now a protected class. If you have a law that says you cannot bar women from voting, they actually, you know, like in the Constitution, the 19th Amendment, a person cannot be denied the right to vote based on their. Actually, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's pull up the 19th and read the language verbatim, so that we can play this game here. The right of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or any state on account of sex. Congress shall have the power to enforce this article by appropriate legislation. Now, what they're doing is they're arguing that a trans person's sex is. So this is how it starts. They first would say something like, we're talking about gender, not sex, and gender is a social construct. But now we're to the point where they're actually arguing to change the biological sex on a birth certificate. This is the point. It now means that males can be granted protections that females are normally entitled to, because men and women are different, so long as they claim to be female. That is, there has already been court rulings on, right, so bars do ladies' night. That's actually illegal under the Civil Rights Act. It's sexual discrimination. The only way that would be legal is if they offered comparable discounts to males. So when a bar says 20% off for ladies to get the ladies in, that's actually a violation of the law. And there are people that go around suing over it. Now, the funny thing is there are a lot of guys that roll their eyes and be like, dude, bars are always just a bunch of dudes. And if you want to get the ladies in, you've got to entice them to come in so the men can meet the women. That's the point. I don't care. I'm not making that argument. I'm saying these are the arguments that people have. There was a case where there was like a computer club for women only. And some guys sued saying it's sexual discrimination. And they said no, because there is a men's computer club too. So long as there are two computer clubs, it doesn't matter. They're segregated so long as the equal opportunity exists. Now what's happening is, seems like some males figure out a way to get in and say, okay, well then I am a female. And so long as society accepts that you can unilaterally decide what this characteristic is, then the protections are gone. There's a reason why we have protections for females, like women's sports. I love saying this. We did not, as a society, create women's sports because, quote, sometimes people wear dresses. But that's the argument of the left when it comes to the issue of trans. If you wear a dress, you can be a woman because woman is a social construct and it's based around. But then at the same time, if you're a woman who wears jeans and a t-shirt, you're not really a man. Women can wear whatever they want. It's meaningless. But now, as they've pushed these ideas, a biological male can enter a women's competition in most cases without undergoing any procedures, just through social transition, they call it, because woman is a social construct. The pushback, of course, has been to say, oh, well, now you have to adjust your testosterone and things like this, which is also complete nonsense. Throwing it back to why this is a gay man right here. And I'm not saying that to be mean to him. Men and women are different. From the point of conception, they are different. Aside from the obvious fact of chromosomes, let's make the argument, yeah, well, they're intersex people, and there's XYY syndrome or XXYY and things like that, where people have different chromosomes and more than they should, intersex, etc. There's something called like testosterone immunity or something like that, where someone is completely biologically male, but testosterone has no impact on them. So they end up appearing female, developing like they're female, but they have underdeveloped testes instead of ovaries. Those things all happen. However, outside of all of that, 7% or something of people fall into overtly distinct categories of either male or female. This individual who is trans, what you need to understand, is going to have a bunch of characteristics that are male and that this gay man here is attracted to. Like, was it female belly buttons are below the hip line, male belly buttons. Male center of gravity is higher than female center of gravity. These are just obvious things based on muscle mass. Males, trans or otherwise, have more skin collagen, have more muscle mass, have more bone density. Now, those things can be affected by taking hormone replacement therapy, but still, this guy is attracted to the masculine end of the spectrum and is in a relationship with someone who is biologically male. That's it. I think the interesting thing about this is there are so many men, like dudes, like this guy, who refuse to say they're gay. It's like, bro, come out of the closet, baby. Ain't nothing wrong, I guess. It's a weird argument to be made. And I think it's political, and I think it's based on shame. This guy says it outright. He says that he grew up in a family that told him, here's who you got to be with, and if you're not, you're out. Conservative upbringing. So why does he say he's not gay? Because he feels shame. He feels shame. Whatever, man. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you what to feel. You live your life. You do what you want to do. But admit who you are. Look, I got a lot of friends who are gay. And they're out of the closet. They're public. They do their thing. And it's like, okay, well, congratulations, I suppose. I don't care one way or the other. You do you, I'll do me. I think there is a question that needs to be asked about how far live and let live can go. But I'm still more on the libertarian side of things for, these people. It's like if you are gay and you want to be with someone, I don't care. There are questions, though, about surrogacy, about raising kids, questions that I do not have the scientific knowledge, cultural knowledge, nor legal expertise to be able to answer for you. That's why I just kind of lean libertarian. I'm like, man. But I do recognize the arguments brought by conservatives when they say this philosophy has led to down this road where, many conservatives predicted what would happen in schools and the arguments being made, and they're actually being made right now. Now we're at the point where you quite literally have two males in a sexual relationship, and they're arguing it's not a homosexual relationship. Okay, maybe you don't want to use the word gay. I don't care what you call it, man. It is a homosexual relationship. That is a fact statement. Fact. So look, recognize this. They want to change definitions of words because it empowers them and it'll change the law. If the law says, this is what I love, because I always made this argument. You'll see, so skateboarding was the big thing. And you'd go to a skate spot, we call them. It's a place where there's good obstacles and the urban terrain is conducive to skateboarding. And they'd put up a sign saying no skateboarding. What happens? People on bikes, scooters, and rollerblades show up and do their thing. And then the cops or the security guard go, okay, what are you doing here? And they'll be like, what? No skateboarding. None of us are skateboarding. Oh. The word used. So fascinating. So then they started adding other things to it. Now the signs say no biking, no scooting, no rollerblading, no skateboarding. And then I said, oh yeah? And then you bring a plow board or a snake board like this. These are all legally distinct things. My favorite sign I've seen was no vehicles or toy vehicles for athletic purposes to be allowed on the premises. Toy vehicle or vehicle. Oh, they're getting you. Because toy vehicle, they defined as, it's so vague, they can say anything now. And that's how they did the catch-all. But then someone made the argument a bicycle is not a toy vehicle. It is a legally distinct vehicle with rules of the road. So then they actually had to put no vehicles. Like that encompasses driving your car up the stairs. But it was because people bike, BMX, they do tricks. And so they were like, no vehicles, no toy vehicles. That includes all of these things. And still, you're not going to be able to ban everything. Next thing you know, someone's going to show up and do parkour and they're going to be like, no sports. Please stop doing sports on our stairs. But that's the point of legalese. Language is everything. Textualism. We understand the purpose of the no skateboarding sign, but people are going to be like, you can't do anything about it. You didn't define it. So what happens is if there's a no skateboarding sign and you skateboard, then they can say you were warned. Here's a fine. If there's no sign, you can say, I had no idea I was doing anything wrong. There's no sign saying no trespassing. I'm just here on public property. Or it's a private building, but I didn't realize. You've got to be given that warning. That's where we're going. Fighting the legal language. The big takeaway. I don't think it's all about this guy being ashamed of being gay. I think the big play is politics, right? Redefine what it is to be female and to be a woman, and you can strip the rights away of actual females. Adult human females in this country are having their rights attacked every single day because effeminate males who take drugs and get surgery want access to the privileges we've granted them. I think there should be special laws for men and women. Certainly do, because men and women are different. It's an argument that's really interesting because it's made by the diversity, equity, and inclusion individuals. Mark Cuban, for instance, he said, I used to think equality was treating two people the exact same, but then I realized that's not true. And I'm like, yes, I actually don't disagree with that. But I think you're all racists who use that understanding to manipulate. I think it is fair to say that different people get treated differently. What the woke left does is they exploit that to implement policies that are detrimental to everyone and are racist to everyone else. That being said, a man with more collagen and muscle mass, higher center of gravity, is going to have much, much different capabilities in a sporting arena than a female. And so we say we create a female and a male. We separate. In fact, we don't even have a male. Most the colleges do have male divisions, but major league sports, it's not male. It's the best of the best and then female. Women's, but now that they're arguing that woman doesn't mean adult human female, which it does, they're arguing that males can compete in female sports. That's the point, right? That's the game they're playing when they do this. Love, don't judge. Love, I don't know what that means. Love, don't judge. I think they're telling you to love and not judge, or that love itself doesn't judge. My friends, it certainly does. We put limits on love every single day, and we should. There was this viral moment where Snapchat, I think it was Snapchat, had a sticker, meaning when you film a video, you could like drag a little animated thing and put it on, and it said, love has no age. Love does, in fact, have age. Sorry. Yeah. And that age is 18, depending on which state you're in, but I think 18 is a pretty good number. You know, to be completely honest, 18 seems like just about the right number, okay? And it is tough because 18 is still really young. I mean, 18 years is kind of crazy, right? But at a certain point, you're kicked out of the nest. You're an adult and you got to fend for yourself. And I think, you know, the laws, they do well. They do well. We've done a pretty decent job of trying to figure out the appropriate time span and contractual, like when you get the right to sign a contract or join the military. I think drinking, I get. People have said, like, how come I can die for my country, but I can't drink a beer? Alcohol's poison. And so it's different. Dying for your country is a noble thing that you can do once you're old enough and of contract age. Drinking is a poisonous substance which damages your brain. And fair point. I do agree in terms of libertarian, in terms of the libertarian ideals, but I understand why there's a difference. That being said, they're not trying to ban 18-year-olds from buying guns. I was at a gun store and there was a guy who was 20 and they said, you can't buy a handgun, you can only buy a long gun. And I'm like, that's unconstitutional. That's insane. Dirty games, man. Evil people. I was talking to, I love this one. You want to test the bona fides of a Republican? Ask them, are children protected under the Second Amendment? The answer is yes, they are. And I talked to Republicans, they go, no, of course not. And I was like, you are incorrect. And I said, are nuclear weapons protected under the Second Amendment? They go, no, yeah, absolutely they are. You are incorrect. fascinating to me that we have Republicans today that don't get that. And they say that's far right, it's extreme, whatever you want to call it. No, I'm not speaking as to what I want to be the case. I'm speaking as to what is the case. Back in the day, let's go 200 years ago. Just go 200. Let's go to 1824. Did children bear arms? Yes, they did. Yeah. Here's the best part. Today, children still bear arms. That's right. Many states specifically outline and have codified and protected the right of children to bear arms. I think Wisconsin, for instance, if you are under the age of 18 and accompanied by a parent, you can bear arms. If you're under the age of 18 and between the age of like 14 to 18, you are allowed to bear a long gun on your own for the purpose of hunting. Now, it's codified because that's basically the point of what we're doing. You don't want to send children into war back then, but the dad would go out with his kids and they'd bring rifles and he would teach them to hunt. Now, as for the nuclear weapons question, who do you think makes our weapons? Private companies. The government does not own these things. They do a lot. They do tests, of course, but private military industrial complex corporations own these weapons. So can private individuals, let's put it this way, can private persons own warships and nuclear weapons? Yes, they can, because they currently do, and that is how we build our military up. It's never been otherwise. So how insane is it when you get these Republicans and they're like, no, they should be allowed to have biological weapons and nuclear weapons, and I'm like, they currently do, and they always have. Are you arguing that Lockheed Martin should have all their weapons confiscated by the government? No, I get the government regulates and issues permits and all of that stuff, but it is private corporations that are building these weapons. It is private corporations that have warships and Hellfire missiles. You should read more. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Next segment is, what are we doing? Next segment will be coming up at 6 p.m. on this channel. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you all then.